Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Tampa Honda, of course, in sunny Tampa, Florida. And look what we have. This is the refreshed, restyled, mid-cycle update of the 2021 Honda Accord. This particular one is the EXL trim, which I think brings a lot of value, but for 2021, there's also a little bit more change and update compared to, say, the fully loaded Touring trim of the Accord. But before we dive into this EXL, let's talk about what's going on here. The mid-size sedan segment is still atomic fireball hot. You got the Toyota Camry, the Hyundai Sonata, the Mazda 6, but boy oh boy, the Honda Accord, been around since 1976 and has really won that top 10 in car and driver, I think more than any other mid-size car. Now for 2021, we're right in that middle of an upcoming redesign, but Honda wanted to make some changes, and they made changes across all the trims, including the hybrid. But this EXL bringing that value pack, but also bringing that new style update. So let's go ahead, let's dive in and see, is the restyled, refreshed Honda Accord better than the Camry, better than the Sonata, better than the Mazda 6, and is it the midsize that you should buy? Right off the bat, you can see the big talking point is right at the front end of the business. So you're gonna get that LED headlight, same style with the chrome trim going across the top. I think the chrome is still looking fresh with the black especially. And then as you work your way down, here's the all new changes. So you can see we have a functional side air curtain. You have your LED fog lamps, and you can see the design element that they brought into that lower front fascia. They kind of extended the corner into a lower lip spoiler that's going to give you some nice downforce and aerodynamic, efficiency, especially for channeling air. And then as we come across the center, here's where we see bigger updates. So they kind of extended it, made it a little bit wider. You can see how they brought the horizontal chrome trim, which, like I said, on this EXL, the chrome is really working with our particular black Accord that we have. They kind of redesigned and reshaped the Honda sensing technology and how it's located in that front grille area. But really, how they took the different design elements and kind of just incorporated all into the front fascia, so it wasn't just a bunch of, stick-on appendages, so to speak, at the front end of the business. And when you get up onto the hood, you're still gonna have that slight rise, starts on the hood and goes all the way towards the windshield. But I think the way that they redesigned the front fascia really gives it that extra width look to the front end of this midsize sedan. Now, as we come up around the bend on the EXL trim, here is a new wheel and tire setup on this particular trim level. So I'm really digging the machined aluminum, the gunmetal metallic gray finish. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this? This is a 17-inch wheel in diameter, 225 in the width, and a nice 50 series meaty sidewall to give you a comfortable ride as you're going down the road. Super clean on the fenders, just like when the Accord first hit the streets with this generation. And as we're working our way back, of course, you're gonna have your color match mirror caps, slim and trim on the LED turn signals. The flat black extends off of that A-pillar area into your side mirror. I like the way they just did some shiny trim along the top, and then still that very prominent belt line. Now here's another update. If you notice along the bottom here, you'll see that other piece of chrome trim really kind of highlights the body line that's going into the rear passenger door. But if you notice, they took it all the way back into the rear bumper area. I'm not 100% sold on that. Right now I'm issuing a half zonk. I'm gonna have to stare at that a little bit longer. I wish that they probably would have been smarter just to end it here, but they did carry it all the way into the rear bumper area. One thing that I think is super smart with their trim is how they kind of shape it around that rear quarter window, but then they extend it out all the way into the rear pillar, which has always looked good in my eyes, especially from the side view of this vehicle. Now, as we get to the back, simple and clean. I know a lot of people are keeping their fingers crossed that they wouldn't have staplers anymore with that staple design, but it's still there. So we're gonna have to wait for that redesign. That should be coming, we'll see, maybe 2023, 2024, we'll see how things are gonna turn out, but still from the back, looking good, nice and wide, no fake exhaust, nothing that's supposed to look like exhaust. You don't even see really the exhaust, you just see a little bit of chrome trim and this flat black area looking really sharp from the back. And like I said, it doesn't even say EXL on it, which I think is smart. It just says Honda Accord. That's what it is. That's all it needs to be. Let's pop the hood though and see what's powering our EXL. All right guys, we got the hood popped on our 2021 Accord EXL. You still have a prop rod, so we're gonna zonk that. It would be nice if they would put hydraulic hood struts, but underneath that hood is that familiar engine. It's been around since 2018 with this generation. It's that 1.5 liter inline four turbocharged engine. So what are we looking at when we're talking about power? We're looking at 192 horsepower, 192 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a CVT transmission, 0 to 60 in about 7.6 seconds. The car does weigh 3,131 pounds, but the great news is what your MPG returns are gonna be. You're looking at 30 MPGs in the city, 38 on the highway. I think that it's smart for Honda to just keep it simple, 1.5. If you want more power, they have more power for you with that 2 liter. And then of course, we have that refreshed hybrid as well that's gonna be coming soon from Tampa Honda. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior and see what changes are in store for 2021. All right guys, we're inside the 2021 refreshed mid-cycle update of the popular Honda Accord. I know you're at that point, you're like, Joe, I actually liked the overall styling of the Honda Accord, but I'm glad that they did some nip and tuck here and there. I've been wanting a mid-size sedan. How much is this EXL? Because I would have sworn, if I was listening properly, which I do have 2 ears and they work, so I must have been listening properly. You said that this had a lot of value. How much is this one? So MSRP on the EXL is right around $32,000, but I think you're gonna be surprised with some of the big things that you get at this price point. Let's go to the door panels. At the top of the door panel, still working with that nice soft material. You have that faux wood style trim, looks classy, just enough to not get too obnoxious. Super soft on the armrest. Door pocket is a little tight, so you may just go Whopper Jr., hold the pickles, and maybe just 1 squirt of ketchup and a bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red to just wash it all down and make life oh so better. Now when you come to the dash, everything is the same, soft material, that wood trim looking good, the silver looks nice. Infotainment system, now it may look the same, but there are some changes. So you're getting that 8-inch infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but here's the big change. EXL, you're getting wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Of course, just like before, real simple to swipe and whatnot. You can move around the icons. Let me throw it into reverse. There is your backup camera. You do have trajectory, and you can change the angle, which is a nice touch as well. Kind of makes life a lot easier when you're trying to navigate in those tight spots. You do have the blind spot monitoring. You do have, obviously, cross traffic alert and all that good stuff as you're backing up. You keep working your way down, you have your integrated AC vents. Love where they put the start-stop button and how it glows red when the car is running. You do have heated seats, no ventilated seats, but I know that we have to make some concessions here and there. You do have dual climate control, and I love the feel of the knob. Listen, let me, you hear that? It's like you're opening up a safe. That's how great the controls are on this Honda Accord. And then look at this. Open sesame. So the door opens, we have wireless charging, yes, on the EXL trim, that is new, USB, 2 of them, and a 12 volt, and I love the way you just close the door, look, and it's super clean. This is going to control that CVT transmission. You do have a sport shift setting, which you just put it on the S, and that means that you are super ready to go. No, it's a sport to kind of just adjust how the engine and the transmission behaves. You got your 2 cup holders. I do like this flat gray finish. Looks classy, hides the fingerprints, and it's not just flat black, which is wonderful. Honda key fob, good size. You're not gonna poke yourself in the family jewels and not be able to have kids or anything like that. It's a good weight to it. You got remote start. And while we're looking over here, look at the stitching. This is the nice touches that I like on the Honda Accord. Super wide on the armrest. It's semi-soft to almost hard as a rock, but it's nice and wide. And then you lift this up, look at this. We got a party tray in here. You can put your Planters peanuts. We got some wrapping. Somebody opened up a Christmas present about 10 minutes ago. Another 12 volt, and you could pretty much get the king size candy bars in there. You could probably put about 12 king size Snickers, maybe a Baby Ruth, maybe a 3 Musketeers if you're trying to watch some of the calories. But If you're gonna eat a candy bar, just go all in and just get the craziest thing that you want. But I'm just gonna put that back like that for right now. Close that up. Here is new, the leather, love it. Nice style headrest, leather all the way down, super soft, beautiful stitching. You do have a 4-way power adjustable seat. Yes, this is an EXL trim, power adjustable seat for the passenger, and I have a power adjustable seat, of course, for the driver. And then you're gonna get your standard size sunroof. I like the way they went with a lighter headliner to kind of just brighten it up a little bit. But why don't you come over to the business end, because guess what? I have a leather wrap steering wheel that I want to show you what's going on. Come on over. Business time, behind the wheel, you do have 2 memory seat settings. So go ahead, share your Honda Accord with somebody that you love. Maybe even somebody you like. I probably wouldn't share it with somebody you hate. Seat controls, easy to get to. You get more adjustability on the driver's side because you're the most important person in this car because you're making it go. It's not gonna go without the driver. I got plenty of headroom, 6 feet tall, plenty of shoulder room. The seats, I'm telling you, nice and supportive. And then Honda does a great steering wheel. The thickness, I love the gray crisscross contrast stitching all the way around. A little bit of silver, okay. I like the flat black on the thumb controls, even like the thumb wheel. And then the dash is straightforward and makes sense. You actually have an analog speedometer, but that tachometer is digital. Watch this. You could actually change what's going on in that center part real easy. So if you want to do range and fuel, there we are. You don't have to look at a tach, and then you could just go back. It's really that simple, and I love that flexibility with the Honda Accord, especially at this EXL trim. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the back seat and see if things are still going good when it comes to space for your passengers. All right, guys, back seat time, and I'm telling you, once I got back here, I was like, hell yes, the Honda Accord is great for those backseat passengers. Tons of space. I love the way the rear seat is angled, and this leather is super supple, super soft. That's a bunch of words that start with S. I love it. Backs of the seats all the way around. You have a good sized pocket. Put an Encyclopedia Britannica back there. You might be able to fit half a volume of the Encyclopedia Britannica for your kids to read up if they still read or if they know how to read. You do have, they listen to Rady's Rides, rear AC and 2 USBs, one there and one on my side. Yes, I told you the value, the connectivity, wireless charging, wireless Apple CarPlay. I'm comfortable, I feel good, I have my own pocket. Here I could put some Nature Valley granola bars. Just make sure you have like a big paper towel because they make crumbs all over the place and you don't want to mess up this interior. Take off the seatbelt there, look at this, watch. Nice. 2 cup holders, softer than the Charmin that you wipe on your rear end. And I got plenty of headroom back here, but why don't we go ahead, let's get to the trunk and see what kind of junk we could put in our Honda Accord. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. Same way, same day. You just lift it up, look at the space. So I love the way they have a nice wide opening. You have the seats that could fold down. They do the 60-40 split. And if you're asking me, well, Joe, how much room really is back there? You're basically looking at about 17 cubic feet of space, which really is gonna make it so usable. You don't have to drive an SUV. Why drive a CRV when you could drive the good old Accord and have that great driving connectivity and feedback? But if you're ready, since I mentioned the D word, get your mind out of the gutter, you weirdo. Since I mentioned the D word, let's go ahead and take this for a drive. All right, guys, we left Tampa Honda. Whenever I get a chance, I'm gonna try to do this POV angle with the GoPro whenever the opportunity arises where we could get that GoPro to mount properly. But right away, being behind the wheel of the 2021 Accord, a lot of things are going to be familiar, especially on the inside. But one thing is for certain, with this EXL trim, you are getting that beautiful leather wrap steering wheel. The seats are so comfortable and also leather as well. And everything is well laid out in here. I mean, it just makes sense why this car is so popular. Now, pulling away, let me go ahead and accelerate. So on throttle. So you do have that CVT transmission. The good news is that it does have simulated shifting. And if you don't want a CVT, you step up to the 2-liter, say, Touring, you could get a 10-speed automatic, which that transmission is really a nice transmission. But the great news is just like last year, ever since this new generation, 2018, that we're still currently in. The sound deadening is great. It's quiet in the cabin, and the experience, you feel like you're in something solid, and I like that, especially when it comes to feedback of the steering wheel. I do have it in the sport shift setting, where you take the shifter and put it on the S, so that gives you a little bit quicker acceleration and throttle response and whatnot. But for the 1.5 liter, I still think 192 horsepower for most people is plenty. Pulling out here, let's go ahead and get on throttle. So I really think they did a great job with the simulated shifts. It helps drop a lot of that drone. It's still a little bit present, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the 10-speed is definitely the transmission of choice, but you know, I understand when you look at the competition, there are other brands doing the same thing, and you know, they do have the 10-speed available if you don't want to go the CVT, but getting to the infotainment system just like before is great. There's not a lot of glare on it. You have all the great new technology in this EXL with the Apple CarPlay, the Android Auto, all wireless, and the wireless charging. But the car is so comfortable, so smooth, which is great. And then MPGs, you're getting a great return on your MPGs, which is wonderful. And that's gonna just make it that much more appealing of a vehicle to want to drive. But let's go ahead and go down this little tight road and see how she does over the bumps and divots. I know a lot of daily commutes, especially those that live in northern states, lots of potholes and whatnot. And I'm telling you, the compression and the rebound and everything that's set up with the shock absorbers gives you a great ride, even over rough pavement, which is nice. And like I said, it's quiet in here, which is great as well. Steering feels great. It really is awesome of Honda to take their race engineering, all that race car development, and even bring it into their regular traditional sedans, because you're gonna get great steering feedback, which is really wonderful. It's got a nice weight to it, nothing too heavy, nothing too light, and it doesn't feel mushy. Nobody wants to drive around a mushy potato, like a soggy potato that's been sitting around with sour cream for about a month. That's the nice thing about this Accord, is that even though we're not in the touring trim with the detuned Type R motor, it still is an engaging drive, and you feel like you could tell what the car is doing. And that to me is super, super important. Like I said, driving down this road, the car is very easy to handle. And that's what I like about a sedan, is that you're a little closer to the ground, which I know a lot of people want to be up high, but lower center of gravity. The car feels so great, so confidence inspiring. And it just, the layout and everything, it feels really amazing. And the great news is I can't wait to see what the redesign is going to be once that hits. I think the one thing that I'm missing, and maybe I'm asking too much at this price point, you tell me, put that in the comment section, is I am missing ventilated seats. And I know that you do have to go all the way to touring, and it would be probably nice if Honda would sprinkle some of that ventilated seat love in some of the other trims like this EXL. But really, I mean, getting to everything is so comfortable. It's really, really well sorted, and you can see why this car is so popular. But back on throttle. Like I was saying, you know, 10-speed would be my choice, but for those who are trying to really watch the bottom line but also get a lot of amenities, this EXL really checks off so many boxes. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to Tampa Honda and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day here at Tampa Honda. I definitely gotta thank Sam and the rest of the team getting us access to this refresh 2021 Honda Accord. It really shows that Honda really wants to bring value, and even though this isn't a total redesign, you're getting a lot of great tech, especially at this EXL trim. I really think that this is the sweet spot in their lineup, and definitely a mid-size sedan that is a standout from the rest of the pack. But if you want to keep seeing mid-size sedans on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Raiti's Rise merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera, my amazing wife, Lori, working it like a champ. We got people walking around us. We got bees trying to attack us, but you know what? She was steadfast and made it all happen. So definitely show her some love in the comment section. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.